Shalom, Prakatah Yahweh, Prakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yom La, Allah Yahweh Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all praises to our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Before I get started my lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles who labored faithfully in his truth and are the true teachers of Israel today. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Habayath Madawadah, the house of David. The brothers labor to make their call of election sure on the four corners of the earth. To you, I say shalom and send peace, blessings, and salutations to the Akim and Akwafim who also listen and believe on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and spirit and in truth. To you, I say shalom as well. This is the brother Sakalah coming back with another lesson through the spirit. And this lesson, is for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear through the Rekak Wadash, through the Holy Spirit. So, I'm going to get right into it. This is from this article here that's dated November the 18th, I believe. And it says Bill Gates says more than 50% of business travel will disappear in post-coronavirus world. So we'll get into the idea, into the whole understanding of what is this post-coronavirus world. Like, what does that actually mean? This post-coronavirus world, speaking of this new world order in which this draconian, these draconian laws and legislation is going to be pushed onto the people. These unrighteous decrees, the scriptures call them, that's going to be pushed by the throne of iniquity, which is Esau, Edom, is going to push forth this new world order, which is what? The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. So that's going to be basically the center of this lesson. So I'm going to jump right into it and get, it says Microsoft co-owner Bill Gates said Tuesday that he predicts over 50% of business travel and 30% of days in the office will go away in the pandemic's aftermath, which is keeping people at home, forcing them to do what? Depend more on the government. Because many people can't afford to be at home. There's a lot of jobs that require people to have to go into their workplace. Moving forward, Gates predicted that there will be a very high threshold for conducting business trips, and there will always be a way to work from home. So that's what's being pushed. The coronavirus will fundamentally alter the way people travel for and conduct business even after the pandemic is over. It says even after the pandemic is over. So that already tells you and shows you that the plans that are being set up are the plans for the New World Order. It says Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said Tuesday, my prediction would be that over 50% of business travel and over 30% of days in the office will go away, Gates told Andrew Ross Sorkin during the New York Times Deal Book Conference. Moving forward, Gates predicted that there will be a very high threshold for conducting business trips now that working from home is more feasible. However, some companies may be more extreme with their efforts to reduce in-person meetings than others, he said. Gates, whose foundation has been working to deliver coronavirus vaccine to people most in need, said during a new podcast. Bill Gates and Rashida Jones asked big questions. It says that he's had a simpler schedule due to the pandemic now that he doesn't travel for business. The philanthropist and tech executive who appeared alongside Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla during the live stream conference on Tuesday said he's already held 5 virtual roundtables this year with pharma executives, a meeting that's usually held in person in New York, showing you that all the major players are coming together. Because we see on the other end, Elon Musk, pushing things on the other extreme, the Neuralink, etc. It says we will go to the office somewhat. We'll do some business travel, but dramatically less, Gates said. The pandemic has devastated air travel demand, particularly for lucrative business trips. Business travelers before the virus accounted for half of U.S. airline revenue, just 30% of the trips, according to Airlines for America, an industry group that represents most U.S. carriers. So now we're seeing they're purposely, trying to crash the economy. It says, however, Microsoft executives have predicted that business trips will make up a rebound, even as the company moves to make air travel more sustainable. We believe that as we return to the skies, the travel routes we've had will resume at the level they had before. Now, really, what is this all about? Let's go back to the beginning. That once again, this post-coronavirus world, this was the key that cued me in the spirit here. The post-coronavirus world. So what is that? Once again, that's the new world order. It's the world that Esau have imagined in his heart that he believes he's going to be able to bring forth. Now, he's not going to be able to do it because that world, encompasses the chip and for everybody to be, to become one with the beast system, which, that's not going to happen because Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the people of the Most High ain't going to stand for that. So we're seeing, and we're going to see more of great insurrection, rebellion, and just more unrest, civil unrest, because these things are going to begin to be pushed and mandated. So Bill Gates of hell, is projecting the NWO, the New World Order, through subliminal messaging and predictive programming. Now we know predictive programming, I looked it up, is a subtle form of psychological conditioning provided by the media to acquaint the public with planned societal changes. So they use guys like Elon Musk, Bill Gates of hell, these types of guys to come out and to give you planned societal changes and predictive programming, which is to play on your mind, to get you used to hear him speaking about these sorts of endeavors and things that they're doing, to make it seem as if it's something that's good for society. But that chip is no good. The chip is to make you one with the beast. The chip is to destroy you. And there's all sorts of information going into the effects of taking the microchip or even taking the vaccine. Now, it says planned societal changes is part of predictive programming. It says to be implemented by leaders, which these leaders are the local, state, and federal officials, the government. So, the point I want to make is, it said, once again, that, predictive programming is subtle. It's subtle. And what does that mean? That also means precise, low-key, vague, faint, and it's done over nicely. So you look up these definitions, there's a lot of cuts in there showing you that in a second how it coincides with the words of the Most High, the Holy Scripture. So, they use a predictive programming, which is subtle, which means it's something that people don't really think much on. It kind of comes up, it's done kind of vaguely, like it says, low key. So now, what does that mean further? Many people won't return to the office, it says it all, which this is the systematic destruction of the economic system, which is going to lead to more unrest, but ultimately the mandatory vaccine and then the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. So these are the things that's being pushed. Because that's why Bill Gates said he's speaking about a post-coronavirus world. A post-coronavirus world. Now, so that they're being real subtle. Now, the scriptures speak about that when we get into it, because the scriptures tell us, gives us the MO of Esau, Edom, the man of sin. The man of sin. This is the book of Psalm, my first precept, 55 and 21. Speaking of Esau, Edom, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Now, when you go to the top of this chapter, King David is praying to the Most High to keep him from his enemy, from the wicked. So if you go to Psalm 55 and 3, it says, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, speaking of the oppression of the wicked, it's Speaking of Esau, Edom, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. So that's speaking of the wicked. It said because of the oppression of the wicked. Now, who is the wicked? Let's get that further in the book of Malachi, because it said from the oppression of the wicked. Malachi 1 goes into the wicked. Who are the wicked? Malachi 1 and verse 4, and it reads, whereas Edom saith, the Edomites, also known as the Idumeans in the scriptures, the seed of the wicked, the man of sin, the son of perdition, and we're going to read here the border of wickedness. The Idumeans, which is Greek for Edom, Edomites, Esau, the so-called white man. This is who this is. They also go by the name of European and Russian, etc. So the so-called white man that's on the earth, he is the red man, because Edom means red. Malachi 1 and 4, whereas Edom, the Edomites, the wicked. Let's go back real quick. Let's go back to Psalm 55 and 3. It says, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. The oppression of the wicked. Now, Malachi once again, 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, this is the men of sin, the wicked, we are impoverished. It's the time, going back to the time, of, the fall of Edom. And then them coming back into power during the time of, losing power during the time of the Dark Ages and coming back into power during the time of the Renaissance. Whereas Edom saith, the Edomites, the children of the wicked, we are impoverished, but we will return and rebuild the desolate places. And once again, that was them reemerging during the time of the Renaissance. That's the rebirth of the power of Esau and earth. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. So whatever the Edomites build, whatever the Edomites imagine in their heart to do, the Most High said he's going to take down whatever their plans are. And they shall call them, them. Speaking of the man of sin, there's a man on the earth that's playing out the role of Satan, that's being the adversary here on the earth. So there's an actual man doing that. That's Esau, Edom. And they shall call them, the Lord said, Esau, Edom, the border of wickedness. So the Edomites are the border of wickedness. So the man of sin, the son of perdition, is the border of wickedness, which are the Idumeans, which is Greek for Edom, the Edomites, Esau. The scriptures say Esau is Edom. So when it speaks of Esau, it's speaking of not only Esau, the man, but the Edomites, the people of Edom, which is the so-called white man today. It says, Malachi 1 and 4 again, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them, the Edomites, the border of wickedness. So wherever the Edomites are, wickedness ensues and follows. And the people against whom the Lord, Yahweh, hath indignation forever. So the Most High has righteous anger and hatred for the Edomites, it says, forever. So let's go back now to the book of Psalm, where we was at. Psalm 55, I read 3, spoke about the oppression of the wicked. Now let's go down in this chapter and get to the point. So this chapter is about the oppression of the wicked. Psalm 55 and 21, it reads, the words of his mouth, speaking of Esau, Edom, were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. See, war is always in the heart of Esau, Edom, because once again, his gift was the sword, going back, into the book of Genesis, when Isaac, gave him his blessing, which was the sword. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So it's through his words, it's also a sword. And now we see that through his media. Through his media, we constantly see that. So it says war is in his heart. So war is always the MO of the wicked. And that's why King David was speaking against the wicked. Now, as we continue on, I'll read verse 22. Cast thy burden upon the Lord. This is what the elect are doing in these days, as the wicked is getting ready, to come down with great wrath. And he shall sustain thee. The Most High is going to sustain the righteous. Lord willing, every brother is of that number, that's doing his work in spirit and in truth. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. See, all of the plans of the wicked is not going to be fulfilled. But thou, O power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. So that's what Esau's end is going to be, is destruction. Bloody And deceitful men shall not live out their days, but I will trust in thee. So the elect are going to trust in thee. True. Trust in who? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So let's get that further. Let's go to the book of Psalm 58. It's the book of Psalm 58. And I'm going to start at verse 2. Psalm 58:2, speaking of the wicked. That's the subject matter. And we see that wicked is imagining a post-coronavirus world, which is a new world order, which is never going to happen. Psalm 58:2, it reads, Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. So we see, once again, the working of wickedness being pushed for this new world order, which is, a world where Esau is going to try to extend his rule. But we know 2nd Ezra 6:9 says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the prophecies are showing us that the Esau's rule is at the end. There's just a little bit of sand left in the hourglass, and then Esau's going to be out of here. It says, Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Speaking of the wicked, Esau, Edom, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. See, the violence of the earth is through Esau, Edom. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He, by far, if you weighed him on the scale, would by and large be, the greatest source of violence that's on the earth. It's from Esau, Edom. That's why it says, you weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Verse 3, Psalm 58:3, the wicked, Esau, Edom. We established that in Malachi 1:4, that he's the wicked, the border of wickedness. So the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, the seed of the wicked, the man of sin, the son of perdition, the border of wickedness, known as the Idumeans, the Edomites, Esau, which is the so-called white man today. The wicked are estranged from the womb. This is how the wicked is. They're born. They're made this way. The Lord said, what's crooked cannot be made straight. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So it shows further in their media why there's so much deception and lies, and misclassifying of truth and misinformation. Esau is the master of misinformation, because it tells you right here, they go astray, the wicked do, speaking lies. It says their poison, which is their lies, their words, is like the poison of a serpent. See, Esau is likened unto a snake, a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. So that shows you Esau is likened unto a serpent. So now let's go to get ready to close this lesson out. Let's go to the book of Genesis and make sense of it all. So when you go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse, now it all makes sense. Genesis 3:1, now the serpent, which is Esau, Edom, let's go back. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, made. So once again, that snake, the serpent, you're speaking about Esau, Edom. Let's get that again. Going back to Psalm 58 and verse 4, and it reads, their poison, speaking of the wicked, let's read 3 again. Psalm 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, speaking of the wicked. Malachi 1:4. Their poison, the wicked, their poison is their words. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Showing you that the wicked, Esau, Edom, is likened unto a snake. So we go to Genesis again. Once again, Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent, which is Esau, Edom, so not talking about a snake, as our people have been lied to, by the false prophet, which is the Christian church, from the Roman Catholic Church on down to Christianity. That is the false prophet that deceiveth the whole world in the Bible. Now the serpent, which is Esau, Edom, which is the seed of the wicked, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua made. And all of the Lord's creation, is known, all of his creatures, which a beast is a creature, all of his creation. Man is, one of the higher forms of his creation. So this is understood and broken down with clarity. And it said of the field, when you read Matthew 13:38, Yahushua was breaking down the parable of the tares, and he said the field is the world. So now the serpent, or Esau, Edom, let's break this down. Now the serpent, or the Edom, the seed of the wicked, the serpent, the Idumeans, the Edomites, the man of sin, was more subtle. Let's get that word subtle. You go into that word subtle, it means cunning and elusive, crafty and sagacious, which means wise, acute, canny, shrewd. These are some of the things, and insightful, that make up Esau Edom. He was very wise, wise to do what? Wise to do evil, but to do good he have no knowledge. The scriptures tell us. Acute, shrewd, so he was cunning and elusive. So this man on the earth, the wicked, the man of sin, he's very elusive. It says more subtle or elusive or cunning than any beast of the field, any of the Lord's creation he made on the earth, of all man and of all things. It says, which the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua have made, and he said unto the woman. So this is an actual man speaking of Esau Edom. He said unto the woman, this is going back to the time of Adam and Eve. It says, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent. So Eve spoke back, unto the wicked. It says, we may eat of the tree of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the tree which is going into, the knowledge of good and evil, it says, but of the fruit of the tree which is going into the ways of the world, which is in the midst of the garden. The garden was symbolic of the earth. Eden was called the garden. Eden, in a garden, is known as paradise. The earth was at a place of paradise then. It says, which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat thereof, meaning you're not supposed to partake of the ways of the world. Neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Showing you that it wasn't speaking of dying instantly, which the serpent was beguiling. That's why he was known as subtle. That's why he's known as a liar. The devil is a liar. This devil, this deceiver, is a liar because he's adverse to everything that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, he's adverse to everything that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is. He is not. The seed of the wicked. So it says, the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. And why did he say that? Because this wasn't talking about dying instantly. This was talking about losing immortality and losing the favor of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua by not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, which there were oral laws given, when you read in the beginning of, the book of Genesis. Now look at this, verse 5. For the Most High doth know that in the day you eat thereof, the day that you start to not keep the law, statutes, and commandments, which the Lord gave us, which was immortality for the righteous, it says, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So that's the separation. The separation is that to know good and evil, to go into the ways of the world, that would be the dividing line, which that was the loss of immortality, So I just wanted to go into that a little bit. Lord willing, that was edifying, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, the Rakak Wadash. So the wicked, which is Esau Edom, is being revealed on the earth, and his new world order will never ever, come into fruition, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to spoil his plans. Thus saith the scriptures, and he's going to deliver the elect. Lord willing, the believers keep believing and endure to the end in hopes of salvation. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles who labor faithfully in his truth, the true teachers of Israel today. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Habayath Madawadada, house of David, the brothers laboring to make their calling of election sure. To you I say shalom, peace, blessings, love, and salutations. To the Akim and Agwathim who also listen and believe on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. To you I say shalom as well. Shalom.